Howdy, I'm out here this morning with the one, the only St. Johns Wort. This is Hypericum perforatum. It is one of my all-time favorite plants, and it's one of the first plants that I got really close with, started studying, and developed a very deep relationship with early on in my herbalism journey. This month for my full moon offering, I'm going to be having a fresh St. Johns Wort tincture available made with this plant that you see right behind me. This is one of the most healthiest St. Johns Wort plants I've come across. It is so big, it just loves this space. It is quite tall. It's one of the tallest ones I've ever come across as well, and it grows in our garden. So it's been fertilized and loved, and it's around many other plants that have had the same treatment. So it is just vibing, people. It's really great. So I'm gonna be having a 2-ounce tincture available made with 100 proof vodka and this fresh St. Johns Wort. Many people know St. Johns Wort for its ability to help people who are suffering from mild depression. This can be a really great ally because it lifts the mood, and it actually sometimes can give you like a burst of energy, I find. Now this comes from the rulership of the sun. This plant is ruled by the sun. It looks like the sun, it emanates the sun, and it has a warming quality to it. So if you are dealing with a condition that is cold, maybe stagnant, and if you typically run cold, this is a really great remedy for you because it will warm you. But the cool thing about it is that it actually will help to cool inflammation and pain, stinging pain that is associated with any kind of nerve endings. So it's really great for sciatica, any issues of lower back like the SI joints. If you have inflammation there, St. Johns Wort can be really great for that. And one of the things that you want to be aware of with St. Johns Wort is that when you purchase any kind of St. Johns Wort medicine, you want to make sure it's red. And the red medicine indicates that it was made with fresh plant material, which is very important because with St. Johns Wort specifically, once it's dried, the essential oils and the active components in it really diminish the potency of it anyway. And so one of the ways that you can tell you have St. Johns Wort is, first off, it is a 5-petaled flower, yellow flower. And when you see the pistils on it, you see how they kind of come up like a sunburst, and there's many of them, they're tiny. That's one of the indicators. Now there's also a false St. Johns Wort that has a much bigger blossom and looks very similar, but the difference would be that when you crush St. Johns Wort in between your fingers, you will have a red dye that comes onto your fingers. That is the hypericin. That is one of the active components of it, and that's how you'll know it's St. Johns Wort. The false St. Johns Wort won't do that. Another way to tell that you have St. Johns Wort is you can pluck a leaf, okay? So you pluck the leaf, hold it up to the sky and the sun. You will see little tiny dots throughout the leaf. You'll also see little black dots in the leaf. That's the hypericin, and those little dots actually contain essential oil. It's perforation, so that's where you get the perforatum. So it's Hypericum perforatum. Hypericin and the perforations in the leaf will tell you that it's St. Johns Wort. So another thing to think about when you're working with this plant on a spiritual, emotional level, these little holes in the leaves, to me, they indicate that there is a gateway. There's a passageway with St. Johns Wort. So if you're wanting to work on some deep sadness, some deep trauma work, something that you know is going to bring some dark things up for you, St. Johns Wort would be a wonderful remedy because it's going to allow you to pass through those gates, those trauma gates, and it's going to bring the radiance and the brightness and the warmth and the joy that the sun brings. So while you're working through these challenging times, St. Johns Wort can be an ally for that. St. Johns Wort is associated with none other than St. John the Baptist. Some people say that the red medicine is associated with the blood of St. John when he was beheaded. Some people also say it represents the blood of Christ. One of the other indicators that kind of goes along this wavelength is when you look, wow, look at that wind. When you look at St. Johns Wort top down, the branches will make a cross all the way down the large stems. So that's another indicator. And I think that that goes along with the whole attachment to St. John the Baptist and even Christ in that regard. I find that St. John's Wort has sort of almost like it's a sweet scent. It's kind of like perfumey a little bit. It's very nice. It's hard to describe, but it's really beautiful. Loves to grow in full sun. A lot of times you'll see it on roadsides, so it'll just like, if there's like troubled soil or anything like that, it typically will grow in those areas. One other thing I wanted to show you is that I started a oil of St. John's Wort the other day, and you see how it's beginning to turn red. It's almost like an amber color. That's the hypericin that's coming out of there. And I'm really excited to share this once it's ready. It'll be ready in about 6 weeks, but there's so many great things that I do with this oil. I love to pair it with cannabis, actually. It's a great, great pairing with cannabis because the reduction of inflammation and the pain reduction that comes from it, specifically with nerve pain, in combination with cannabis, you can't beat it. I've had really great results with this. I've even had a friend of mine who's a naturopathic doctor. She's used that salve that I've made, a cannabis and St. John's Wort salve, on clients, and they've really had really great success with it. So this is St. John's Wort. This is what's coming to me right now with this plant. And I'm really happy to share this with you. So if you are interested in purchasing a tincture, you can sign up for my newsletter. Go to michelleshealinghome.com, go to the newsletter tab, and you can sign up there. If you don't feel like signing up, it's okay. You can also just go to my website, michelleshealinghome.com, and it will be on the front page, the offering, and there'll be a rundown of what you can use this for. So thank you so much for tuning in and taking some time with me in St. John today. Such a glorious day. It's going to be really hot, and this plant loves this weather. So take care.